Let's talk economics and viruses. Mostly viruses. Well, the coronavirus is definitely having a drag on the Dow Jones. It's going to be shutting things down for a while. For those of you who are wondering how a virus can have such a big impact on the Dow Jones and world markets as a whole, let's look at one sliver of the global economy. Let's just look at the news coming out of some of the major tech companies. Facebook has canceled its annual F8 conference due to fears of the virus. Facebook has also closed and canceled a lot of other events just in the time it took me to write this. One of their employees has also tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. Google has also canceled its global Google News initiative. A Google employee has also tested positive for the virus after traveling abroad. Google has also decided to put all travel overseas on hold, and they've pulled out of South by Southwest. The Game Developers Conference in San Francisco has been delayed because major companies like Google, Facebook, Unity, and some studios have all withdrawn attendance due to virus fears. Barcelona's Mobile World Congress, which is mostly focused on mobile apps and cell phone games, has also been canceled for very similar reasons. Attendees started calling and canceling out of fears of the virus. I'm sure there's 100 other things that have happened by the time I get this recorded and uploaded. 13% of Americans have already changed or been forced to change plans due to the outbreak. And while I'm talking about tech companies, the effect is really being felt by the travel and hospitality industries. These large conferences bring in a lot of tax revenue for cities. It keeps hotels, restaurants, and bars in black ink, and in turn that keeps thousands of people employed. And that's just one section of the tech industry that's making the news. Think of the people who are now not going to take a vacation. People canceling their once-in-a-lifetime trips where they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or canceling cruises. Flight cancellation has already topped 200,000, and that's just in China at the moment. But there are signs that planes in other countries could be sidelined due to lack of travelers. Estimates are about $118 billion in lost revenue for airlines. Demand for air travel has been steadily growing for 11 years. Demand could crater this year because of virus fears. This all spills over into the energy market, namely oil. Just on the drop of travel in China, jet fuel prices have dropped to a 2-year low, which is already driving oil prices lower. Energy markets were trending down because of the reduced production in China. People staying home, not commuting to work, factories not running. China factories have started running again, but they're only doing about 75% of previous capacity. Even then, a few are not working on projects they normally undertake. Foxconn, the company known for manufacturing the iPhone for Apple, has switched part of its production line to making surgical masks, which are in high demand for people trying to avoid the virus. Some factories are estimating that it will take more than 3 months or longer to reach full capacity again. These are factories that are making parts for other factories in different countries like Germany, Spain, the US, Canada, Mexico. These companies in those countries are going to take a hit and will have to lay off employees because they won't have enough work or income to keep them on the payroll. Remember, I started talking about travel and hospitality industries taking a hit? This is one of those problems that compound. The virus has already affected China's economy across a bunch of sectors and industries. Both the virus and economic drop will spill over, has spilled over into other countries. Those countries will have both to contend with at the same time. The solution to this is not something a World Bank or economic expert can fix. It needs to be a medical solution, preferably from someone who has a medical degree. A specialist in infectious diseases would be a plus. It's better to focus on stopping the spread of the virus first. You can't fix an economy that's grinding to a halt because the workforce is getting sick and staying home. The economy can be jump-started at any time, but that tends to be a one-shot deal. If anything's done trying to improve the economy and there's no physical improvement because there's something else still dragging profits and returns down, then both investors and consumers will lose faith and hang on to what money they have. The Fed has dropped interest rates by 0.5 point the day I started writing this. The Dow Jones jumped, fell, jumped again, and fell some more. It looks like the virus news is going to pull it down no matter what. Anything done now is really just a wasted effort. People are scared. They want to feel safe, and a lot of people are willing to throw their money at anyone or anything that promises to stop or cure the virus. Amazon is cracking down on products trying to cash in on coronavirus fear. Google is stepping up its efforts to weed out snake oil ads, trying to profit on virus fear. Both seem to be losing ground. Masks of all kinds are selling out, even after the World Health Organization and the CDC have both said that masks do not work at all in preventing infection from any kind of virus. The pharmacy CVS has already stated that there's a shortage of hand sanitizer. There are instructions floating around on the internet on how to make your own gelled sanitizer. Regular soap and water are more effective than either sanitizers or masks. A good lather with soap for 20 seconds works best. After that, avoiding touching your nose and mouth as much as possible during the day helps too. Now, I've rewritten the close to this about 5 times, and every time I add or update something to be caught up with the virus news, 3 other things happen and the key numbers change. So, to cover the key points, multiple cities and states have declared an emergency. Even more conferences, conventions, and major events have been canceled or delayed. Fed workers and other tech companies are being told to telecommute if possible. And a few school districts have even closed over virus infection concerns. This is scary 100-year kind of bad news, and we don't have anyone alive who's seen anything even remotely similar to this. 3 things that haven't been talked about enough in reporting. There's evidence that the virus has been spreading in the US for 5 weeks before the first confirmed case. The rest of the world is doing thousands of tests a day. South Korea alone is doing 10,000 plus a day, trying to get ahead of the virus. The US has done a few hundred. I'm not sure if that's a day or total. The way people are talking, it sounds like it's all we've done. It's just a few hundred tests. There's not enough testing being done for anyone to have any real numbers of how many people are sick in the US. There's an assumption going around that the COVID-19 virus is no worse than getting the common flu. It's nothing to worry about. You get sick, you lay in bed and feel like crap for a while, and then it goes away. The problem with this is that people seem to ignore the fact that common flu kills people. Sure, it's less than 1% of everyone that's affected every year. But last year in the US, 250,000 people were hospitalized with the flu. 14,000 people died from the flu. For the COVID, its fatality rate is more than 3%. The rebuttal to this fact is often, yeah, but it's only the people whose immune system and health have already been compromised. You only have to worry if you're already sick with something else. That's not how it works. Sure, there are people that are known to be high risk. However, you could be perfectly healthy, you could be fine, and you can get the flu or COVID and then develop pneumonia and die. Just because you're healthy before infection doesn't mean you're going to be safe. It doesn't mean you're going to survive. What keeps the number of deaths from flu from being much higher is the fact that there is a vaccine for the flu. That vaccine slows and limits the spread and effect of the flu virus. It's important for you to get the flu shot if someone else in your family is having major health issues. You are reducing the chance that they get infected, and you're keeping them safer. There is no vaccine for the COVID-19. The World Health Organization and the CDC have both said there won't be a vaccine for more than another year or more. It's going to spread to more people. It's going to reach more people who are already sick because there's no vaccine. For the flu, 45 million is a really bad year. COVID-19 is estimated to infect 40 to 70% of the world population. Countries that are not aggressively dealing with the virus will be hit the hardest. 40% of the US population, 40% of 327 million is 130 million. 3% of that is 3.9 million. That is the low estimate. Remember I was talking about how a virus could have such a huge effect on the stock market and global economy? Wash your hands several times a day with soap and water for 20 seconds. Thanks for watching and good luck. To subscribe, click the channel icon on the top left. Top right is the previous video, and below that is a random suggestion from YouTube. Thanks again.